high placements in some of those cash cups, in some of the solo events, because of that discipline. Eventually, we talked about it, you have to have that perfect day. You have to put it all together. But when you practice all the time, granted, arena compared to a tournament is a completely different skill level. I mean, I can consistently get top 5 at arena hiding in a bush most days. Shout out to the plus 4K point club. But right now, we're going to get a nice little replay here as Stretch gets pushed into the box. It's just obliterated. And that's what I was talking about in terms of that.
A lot of our players that we want to keep an eye out. Mars on the other side finds Dom though, so Mars, again, in his preferred game mode, still cooking here, looking very, very good. See Saf here in the distance. Ascenta needs to make a big decision here. The zone's gonna pull far. He's got a launch pad to work with, but so potentially do these other players that are here. Let's be honest. Most players, it's just so common to find launch pads nowadays. Miro here has to decide. Wants to go on foot or recycle the one nearby. Oh,
you can see it's
burning. Rip.
It's already on fire. No matter how much he wants to go over there, he's starting to try and scout another thing. But however, he's really close to zone. You can check the bottom right-hand corner. He's towards that northeast side of it. It's just a quick little jaunt there. And realistically, what he wants to do is he wants to wait for the zone to move a little bit, and then try and rotate around the right-hand side. That'll give him priority position on the eastern part of the zone. And if he can get that and cut off some of the other players who end up coming in, that epic tactical shotgun is going to go to work. And as we've talked about it, Monster, these loadouts, I don't think we've seen an epic or legendary pump yet on a single player. I mean, we've seen 2 epic tac shotguns, but really that's it. There's not a lot of power weaponry, so the players who are going to be able, we know Miro has one, we know Clix was able to pick one up on his refresh. We're just now into the top 50. That's the 2nd placement threshold, just now ticking over with the 5th zone closing. We're into the moving circles, but Bizzle won't get to apply any of that veteran experience to the first late game. He falls there in 47th as 5th zone closes, and Edgy right now trying to get a little bit of harassment and pick up a cheeky AR Elim onto Orzrevo, and who looks like he's gonna fall, but it's Mega who ends up getting the 2 points and the credit for that one.
Yeah, Mega's gonna go and find one. Degen seems to be the eye in the sky here, as he might be maintaining the best position here, but notice, cones are closed on all bases from up above because launch pads are in full effect. In these end games, with how many players are alive, it doesn't matter how good your awareness is, the likelihood of you being landed on is so high, and it can happen in a blink of a moment. All of a sudden, you let your guard down, and bam, someone's inside your box with a tactical shotgun, and that is all she wrote. Saf on the other side, though, barely any ammo to work with. Look at Mega trying to play smart here. He's going to work his way around the outskirts for some extra loot. Seems like he's desperate to pick some up, but Floppers there in the distance, and of course the Chug Cannon. And his strategy, spoiled. Someone's shooting at him. He's been spotted out.
And he's burning through all of his floppers. He needs to change levels, but if he's taking any damage, it still takes some time to pop the flops. He finds the launch pad, one more tick, but he's able to find the zone. 17 HP. If somebody sneezes on him, breathes in his direction, will end up going down, but instead, the discipline to find a deserted layer. Nobody is within 4 grid spaces of him. Boxes himself up, but with 23 builds and just 1 launch pad, he's gonna need to continue on this side. That's where the position plays such a huge point. He's gonna look for a refresh. He finds the code into Accept's box, immediately refresh it. Accept backs him up, but Pamsto is gonna be able to find it. Much needed loot refresh in terms of the mats, but not getting the siphon. Will get 1 mini and a med kit, but he needs the space to use it. Miro up on the high ground. Commandant with the priority position in terms of the mid-tarp. Low ground, Knifer, Frisk, Schmack, a couple layers above it. We'll hop on board with him as somebody drops pretty much directly in front of him, cutting him off. Fatch able to pick up an Elim that turns off Storm Surge, and it's just straight up late game Fortnite. We have 2 more circles after this one closed. Canada picks up Oki, says Illis, ends up getting, oh my god, me too. Snack with just 5 builds, drops down to check the low ground, ends up getting a huge shot, but nothing doing afterward as the Epic Tac will pick him up. Ghost Blake being the one to get him there. Will swing back over to Scented, who's gonna try and time this medkit and then use the pepper to make a back of zone play.
Yeah, and remember, those peppers also here for whites as well. Mero's gonna be coming in super late out the zone, and it's Agers who has the high ground right now. Commandment still in this game, though. Kanata, if you were rooting for him, is here as well. And down comes Agers looking for anything. Senti gets clipped off by Kanata now. Kanata at 5 eliminations here, ladies and gentlemen. This is massive, and he's approaching his top 10 here and now. Another medkit's gonna come out. Desperate to find any HP, but instead, the refresher, the siphon, as he pops one in the mouth there. It's Aspect. Down he goes. And Kanata, you know, he's just lighting up this speed here, and all of a sudden, we're in a top 10, and he's not done yet here, Sundown. Look at this. He's gonna piece up Thatch. Hello, 180. The cone comes in. He's caught there, too. Down he comes. Kanata, don't stop. Keep it going.
He keeps it going, but he goes straight into the gas can explosion. It could be the only thing to blow up his momentum, but he's gonna box up. Needs to be careful of that spreading fire. It's still on the 15 tick, up on the high ground. Commandment, my prediction, running through. He's on 4 elims, but just like Kanata was at 4 elims, he's completely out of builds, and he swaps to his pickaxe. He thought that the pump would end up being enough, but Peterbot, with just 12 HP to spare, turns it around and ends up clutching up a top 3 position. He now has the high ground, but with only a singular build. Frisk back in the zone, but so is Jock. Peterbot drops down, he doesn't find the shot, and Jock back to back 2 eliminations.